crazy. Stop! What the flip is poppin' to Benizity Nation? It's midday. I'm feeling a little low on the energy department, and so I've been drinking green tea instead of coffee to see what the difference is. Green tea just makes me feel more alert but zen. Coffee makes me feel like I'm about to have a heart attack. So I'm drinking green tea lately with 2 bags because I'm just a lunatic. Okay, so this video, as you can tell by the title, it's going to be a roller coaster. So sorry to interrupt, but I forgot to explain. This video is just strictly a story time of me just getting to my adventure. And I have a part 2 coming soon, and that's gonna be like the vlog portion of my actual week on this adventure. Does that make sense? So this is just the beginning, bitch, and it's still crazy. Part 2 is even crazier, but yeah, let's get into it. Before I embarked on this journey, I was really going through it emotionally, okay? Something happened to me in my life where it just shook me to the core. My ego was stepped on and then ripped apart and then thrown in the toilet, flushed down in the sewer, and then rats started eating it. My ego was completely fucked up after something happened to me, and I was like, bitch, do you know who you are? Like, shut up. But my feelings are valid. I don't want to get into it because it's just like, it's personal. But you know when you just are so down bad, there's a lot of people around you all the time, and you feel like you're gonna burst open at any second, and you try to hide it, but then people start noticing. That's kind of where I was at. I could tell that I was about to go down a depressive episode if I didn't get the fuck out of LA. And I also just needed to spend time by myself in the trees and journal and figure out what the root issue was to how I was feeling, because I could not put my finger on it. It's hard to understand if you don't know the context of the situation that I was in. Logically, I know that I should not be feeling this upset, because I was like, logically, like, whatever, move on with your life. But my heart was like, bruh. So I was like, fuck. You know? About a month ago, I texted my friend Brittany something, and I tried texting her and it didn't go through, and I was like, that's really unlike Brittany. Weird. And so then a week later, Brittany texted me back and she was like, oh my god, bitch, I forgot to tell you, I was taking a social media detox mental health break. I was out in the middle of the woods in a cabin with no phone, no social media. I was just in nature for a week. And then that is what sparked the light bulb in my head, and I was like, that's exactly what I need to do too. That sounds like a fairy tale. So I literally texted her. I was like, can you send me the link to your cabin? So she sends me the link to her Airbnb, and I literally booked the same cabin. I booked it for that next week, and I was like, yes, bitch. If you guys are familiar with California or like Southern California, maybe you know this little town, maybe you don't. I fucking didn't. I didn't know that this town existed. It's this little town called Idlewild. It's like on the way to Palm Springs, but it's in the mountains. And it's this cute little hippie town, and they're all about art and music. That's all they do there. And it's so adorable, and it's so small. I went into this being like, oh, this is gonna be such a zen and glorious time. Just me, myself, and I. And you know what? It was really zen and nice. I enjoyed myself a lot, but there were so many chaotic moments. This is kind of what set up the chaotic trip for me, is just the first initial reaction to getting into the city. And I did not vlog any of the first part of when I first got there because it was so stressful. So I'm just gonna tell that story. Before I go on this incredible journey, I think I'm a little hungry. What should I do? Well, I just remembered that this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. You're probably wondering, what is HelloFresh? Benito. That's my food. Okay, I'm sorry, Benito. I know how much you love HelloFresh too. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-proportioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. I've been blasting the new Silk Sonic album while I'm cooking lately, and it just hits so right, you know? As fall transitions to winter, there's nothing better than cozying up with a comforting, home-cooked meal, okay? Recipes like chicken ramen in shoyu-style broth and turkey ragu. Gnocchi? I think that's how you say it, gnocchi. Make it a no-brainer to skip on paying for takeout, okay? HelloFresh offers so many delicious recipes to choose from each week to help you break out of your recipe rut. And guess what? You get to save time and stress effortlessly. HelloFresh offers 50 menu and market items to choose from each week, including vegetarian, calorie smart, and gourmet options, providing plenty of variety. HelloFresh can also help you eat more sustainably. That's right. HelloFresh's pre-proportioned ingredients means that there's less prep for you and less wasted food. As of recently, actually, I deleted all of my delivery apps on my phone because I just want to learn how to cook, okay? I've been putting it off for so long, and I personally love HelloFresh because it's perfect to just get me started. And it's so easy, and all the ingredients are there. I'm not overwhelmed. And look at how good that turned out. That looks so good. And guess what? It was. It was so delightful. Go to hellofresh.com/sarahbaska14 and use promo code sarahbaska14 for up to 14 free meals. Yes, I said free. And 3 free gifts. Thank you so much, HelloFresh, for sponsoring today's video. I love you guys so much. And let's get this journey going now that I'm fed and happy. So, I cannot believe that this happened. So I booked this cabin from Sunday to Thursday. Sunday comes around. I was thinking about it and I was like, how cool would it be if I brought my MIDI keyboard, my two really expensive monitor speakers, like professional monitor speakers that I use for mixing and producing now, because I'm trying to do that. Why don't I just bring that? And then also my iMac, why don't I just bring that as well? And also my mixing board. I'm just gonna like really zone in and bring all my equipment. I wanted to have like a Tame Impala moment, because I saw this one video of Kevin and he was like in his house. It's like his house. It was like in the middle of nature. I think it was in Malibu or some shit. And he was like right by the windows and you can see like all of nature, and he was just like zoning into the music and making some sick shit. And I was like, I want to have a Kevin Parker moment and do that with no distractions. My view outside of my office window is a McDonald's, and that's cute, but I don't have any inspiration out of my windows. So I was like, this will really help me hone into my creativity. So just getting all of my equipment into the car was hard enough. I had so much equipment and it was so heavy. It's all in my car, and I look at the time, and by the time that I left LA, it was midnight, okay? It was midnight. I'm a night owl, so I don't mind that shit, but I know that that's kind of weird for anyone else. Maybe it's not, I don't know, but like this town was 2 hours away, so I would get to my cabin at 2 in the morning. If I was like with people, like no. But since I was by myself, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm on my time. I don't have to worry about anybody else. I start driving, and I am having a hoot. I was discovering all this new music, blasting my shit, feeling myself, and then I get to the mountain. And this mountain is so windy. There's so many twists and turns, and they're super fucking sharp. It's kind of scary, especially because it snows on that mountain, but luckily there was no snow, God bless. So I was just kind of just going at my own pace. I finally make it to Idlewild. And boy, was it wild. It really wasn't like wild. It's like a very sleepy city. I get in town and I'm like, okay, I can't wait to just unload all of my shit, get into my cabin, and just get in my pajamas and just pass out. I'm following the directions on my Airbnb app, pull up to the neighborhood. I noticed that it was pitch black outside. There are no streetlights. There's nothing. We're on a mountain, so duh, that makes sense. There's no streetlights. But I was taken aback because I couldn't even see the houses. It was that dark outside. I couldn't see anything. Even with my brights on, I couldn't make out where I was. I could barely see the street signs. It was just like I was driving in a black abyss. I get to the destination of where it says the cabin is, and I was like, okay, I can't see the cabin though, but it says that I'm here. How do I know which house this is? So I park my car next to where it says the cabin is. Then I look at the Airbnb app for the check-in instructions, like how to get in. And it says that there's going to be a long driveway right next to the cabin. And then you go around the back and there's a back door. In the back door is where you will find a lockbox. Punch in this number in order to unlock it. Sounds pretty simple. So I was like, okay, dope. And mind you, it is so quiet outside. It is like freakishly quiet. You could hear a pin drop, no noise. I want you guys to hammer that in your head. Just me walking up to this cabin was echoing, okay? I have my flashlight on. I kind of look creepy as hell. It's 2 in the morning. And if anyone were to look outside of their windows, look at me with a flashlight going up to this house, it looks concerning. So I go up to this house and I see a driveway. And I'm like, oh my God, this must be the driveway. And then I turn and I see a cabin right next to the driveway. The cabin that I was staying at, it's one of those triangle cabins. It looked like the picture on my Airbnb. This must be it, because I couldn't see that well because I had my little dookie phone flashlight. Like, it's not that powerful, okay? This isn't gonna light up the entire cabin. I kind of was looking at the architecture and I was like, yeah, that looks like the picture here. I think. But then what made me confident was this long driveway next to it. So I was like, this has to be it. So I walk up the driveway, I go to the back door. There's a back door. There is. I'm like, cool, this is the back door that they're talking about. I see a lockbox. That must be the lockbox. I open up the flap, I'm punching the numbers. Nothing happens. So I was sitting there for 15 minutes, messing with the lock, like trying to open it after pushing the button. I could not figure it out. I was like, what am I gonna do, man? Like, I can't get inside of my cabin. It's 2 a.m. I'm tired. I'm stressed. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna call Brittany and see if she's awake. Maybe she can help me. It's because she stayed in this cabin last week, so maybe she knows how to do it. So I FaceTime Brittany and I was like, hey dude, can you help me out with the lockbox? And she was like, oh my God, yeah, just flip the camera. I flipped the camera and she was like, girly, that's not the lockbox that I used. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then she was like, show me the door. And so I like panned the camera to the back door. And then I panned the camera like around me and she was like, girly, you are not at the right house. And I was like, what are you talking about? On my maps, it literally says that I'm here. And this looks like the house on the picture. And it described everything in the check-in exactly as what I'm experiencing. She's like, girl, that's not it. That's not it. I don't know where you are. And I was like, I don't either. And I started to like get stressed out. She's like, girl, just get back in your car. You are literally picking the lock at some random family's house. They're probably freaking out. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I hang up the phone with her. And then I go to the side of the house to go down the driveway. And I noticed that all of the lights in this house turned on because they could hear me picking the lock. This poor family thought that I was breaking into their house. They're probably freaking out. I wanted to like knock on their door and be like, I'm so sorry for waking you guys up. I thought that this was my Airbnb. I'm not trying to break into your house, but also I didn't want them to like open up the door with a shotgun and kill me. So I was like, I'm just gonna quietly exit. I was so scared because I was like, they're probably gonna call the cops because it's also 2 in the morning. This is not the time for someone to be checking into an Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? Not only did this family think that I was breaking into their house, but I still don't know where my cabin is. And so I'm like literally about to cry. Brittany keeps FaceTiming me because she wants to help. I was texting her being like, yo, I'll figure this out, just because if I was on FaceTime with her, it would just be louder. I knew that it was pitch black outside, so she wouldn't be able to help. And so Brittany's like, just text me when you find it. And I was like, okay. I get back into my car. I can't see any other cabin that looks like this one. And I kept looking at the picture and I'm like, bro, this has to be it. Did Airbnb mess up and accidentally like book me into a cabin that's already rented out? I was so confused. I was like driving really slowly and I see that there's a driveway on the other side of the house. And I'm like, maybe if I go up this driveway, there will be the cabin. Maybe the cabin is up the driveway a little bit. I'm driving up the driveway. I'm stressed and I didn't want anybody to wake up. Driving really slowly up this narrow driveway, y'all, right next to the house where I almost broke into. And I'm looking around me and I turn my brights on for a second and it's like a little cul-de-sac moment. And the house on the other side was like this red, dark, creepy, barn looking type of house. And I was like, okay, that's not it. Where am I? I FaceTime Brittany again in my car. Flash my brights on. I'm like looking around. I'm like, does this look familiar to you? And I was hoping she would be like, oh yeah, there's a house tucked in over there. But she was like, girly, I have no idea where you're at. So since it's like a cul-de-sac moment and my car is sitting on the driveway, my lights are shining into the house in front of me at the end of the cul-de-sac. I panicked because I was like, fuck, I gotta get out of this fucking cul-de-sac. Everyone is probably waking up. Put my phone on the passenger seat and Brittany's still on FaceTime. Instead of just driving up a little bit into the actual cul-de-sac, turning my car completely around, I thought it would be better if I just backed out of the driveway because I just wanted to get out of there as fast as possible. I didn't want to have to like turn around and put it in reverse and fucking make more noise. So in a state of panic, I put my shit in reverse. Can't see anything, okay? And I'm in reverse, I'm going kind of fast, and then boom!
This wasn't a choice. I've never felt normal. Because I'm not normal. I've had to face death and loss and pain.
Impact. I scream and Brittany's on FaceTime like, what the did you just hit something? And I'm like, I don't know what I just hit. I was too frazzled to even get out of my car and look. I was like, I need to just put that shit back and just drive up this street and then just turn around. So I'm like, Brittany, I'll call you back. She's like, okay. She's like, what the fuck? And she's laughing hella hard because she was like, what the fuck is going on? I hang up FaceTime with her. And then I notice the house next to me turned on another light. And so I'm like, oh my God. I put that shit back and drive and I tried to drive forward. My car's not moving. But my foot is on the gas. It's just making loud, screeching noises. And now, I noticed that that creepy little barn to my other side just turned their lights on. And I want to cry. I feel defeated. I feel foolish. I still don't know where my cabin is. So I'm like, fuck, dude. I get out of my car. I turn my flashlight on. And what do you know? I'm in a little ditch. I'm in a little ditch. And not only is this a ditch, it's the side of the house of the cabin that I was breaking into. And I'm like, huh? What? How do I get out of this ditch? In a quiet manner, my first instinct is to cry, but then I slap myself and I'm like, shut up. Let's cry later. Logical brain, turn on logical brain, earth to logical brain. My emotional brain's like, I wanna cry, I wanna cry. Shut up, we're not crying right now, we're figuring it out. And then finally, this one's starting to like turn on a little bit, and I was like, okay, let's turn on your flashlight and let's look under the car. And so I get under the car and I see this giant rock just giving my car a little hug from underneath. I am not a car person. I know jack shit about vehicles, and I was causing destruction every step that I took so far. So I was like, I'm not even going to fucking do anything. I'm gonna leave this shit alone and just try to find my cabin first. But I knew that I couldn't leave my car there for long because since I'm parked in a driveway and there's a cul-de-sac of houses right in front of the car, they're gonna need to leave in the morning to go to work or whatever, and my car, it's blocking the driveway. Like, I'm not even far enough into the ditch where the cars can get around my car. It's such a narrow driveway where I'm literally just diagonally just blocking it off. I'm really disappointed, honestly, Idlewild, that nobody came outside to help me. Everyone heard it, everyone saw, and no one came outside to help me. I was waiting for just one person to come outside and be like, are you okay? Or I was waiting for someone to even just come outside and yell at me. But everyone was so passive aggressive and just turned their lights on. I get it, they don't know me. They don't know what I'm doing. It looks very sketchy, but so passive. They can obviously look out the window and see that I'm just this anxious girl just trying to find her way in life. Maybe they were old, I don't know, but I was just like, can someone fucking help me out here? I wanted to just scream that in the neighborhood, like, someone fucking help me. But I didn't. I didn't want a bad review on Airbnb. So I have my little dimsy flashlight. I'm literally walking up and down the street looking like an actual predator. I'm genuinely surprised someone didn't try to shoot me. I'm going up to each house, so dark, trying to look at the numbers, and I see that there's like a little entrance to this random little driveway, and I was like, what is that? I'm just going up this little driveway. The motion sensory lights came on to my cabin, to my Airbnb cabin. With those motion lights turned off, there was no cabin right there. There was nothing there because it was kind of hidden and there were trees everywhere. I wanted to cry of happiness. It was a very euphoric moment for me. It almost brought me to my knees. I wanted to start singing. And mind you, this cabin was on the driveway right next to the driveway that I'm stuck at. It's literally right, the one right next to it. But this one was hidden, okay? I couldn't fucking see it. Get my backpack, go up to the cabin, go around the back, and there's a lockbox in the back, enter in the code, and what do you know, I'm in. And then I just started laughing. Hysterically. It was a very manic laughter. I was sweaty, I'm shaky, and I just sit down on the couch, I turn on all the lights, and I sit down. It's a beautiful, gorgeous Airbnb. Okay, logical brain is starting to activate. Okay, I need to call AAA. So I go on their website on my phone. They say, okay, thank you for your request. Service is on the way. It'll be there in about 45 minutes. And I was like, perfect. That's incredible. Love that. And so I'm just sitting there waiting. Just sitting here waiting for a tow truck. He's 20 minutes away, so that's good. Oh my god, that was humiliating. This is a really nice cabin though. I'm just so humiliated. It's fine, not a big deal. I just don't even know how bad my car is damaged. My dad's gonna kill me, but we're not gonna think about that right now. Oh, that was a lot. I brought Elon Musk though. I feel like I'm in a scary movie. It looks like I'm in one also. But it's also like the creepiest time of the night. I think once I see the tow truck guy, it'll alleviate everything. I think it's just scary where I am in general at this time of night. So just seeing another human helping me would be nice. I thought for sure like one neighbor would come out and help me because I was so loud, bitch. Oh my god, that was humiliating, y'all. All right, I'll keep you updated. 4:45 rolls around. I'm just expecting to hear a car drive up, right? Any minute. And I start to see headlights. Hell yeah, they're here. And I look out the window. Y'all, it was a sheriff. It was a sheriff. Somebody called the cops on me. Somebody called the cops on me. But I can't even imagine what that phone call was. I see the sheriff and he goes up the street. I wait a few minutes and then he slowly comes back down the street and I was like, oh my god. I'm just gonna sit my ass on this couch and just... The sheriff comes again and goes up the street again, turns around and leaves. And I was like, oh my god. And then 15 minutes goes by. Finally, I see another set of headlights. And I was like, is this the fucking sheriff again? I look out and I see blinking lights. And I was like, okay, that's AAA. Hell yes. But also, fuck. This is about to be so loud, I can already tell. Because he was coming up the street and I just hear beep, 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 beep. Like his toe lights were flashing and shit. I was like, oh my god. Like, can you calm down? Can we do this without all of the extraness? Like, I already gave the neighborhood a show. Like, we don't need an after party. Like, fucking relax. And this is me meeting up with the AAA guy. Hello. Yeah, so it's stuck under a rock.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And all
Are you staying up here for the night?
Yeah, I'm actually just one driveway over. I just accidentally went into the wrong one.
Okay,
Backed up. I don't know if I filmed his face. I was trying to nonchalantly record everything that happened, but this guy, he looks like he just graduated high school. Like he literally, like maybe sophomore in college cap. Like that's where it caps out. He was not a man. Maybe he was, I don't fucking know, but like he looked like a child. And it was just one guy. I was definitely older than him. Ah! First of all, he asked me if we could do it tomorrow. And I'm like, no bitch. I'm literally blocking off the driveway for everybody.
You need it out tonight?
That would be ideal just because there's neighbors up there and I just feel bad. And so then he was like, okay. And then he looks at my car. And at first he was like, I
mean,
I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean AAA can't get my car out of this? Like, what the fuck what do you mean?
maybe I can do it from the tree.
And then he was like, I mean, I'll try something.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Let me turn my truck around.
Okay. I was like, just do you, man. I'm just gonna stand here. Do what you gotta do, but just get this car out of the ditch. And he was being so sus. Like, he was being so weird with me, kind of almost laughing at me. I was not enjoying it. One, I already felt stupid. Two, I already felt humiliated. Number three, I've got a fucking high school senior helping me with my car. Number four, it looks like he doesn't even know what he's doing. Number 5, everyone wants to kill me in this neighborhood. So I was not joking around with him. I'm gonna call him Kyle. Kyle, I am not gonna entertain your joy of helping this stupid young female with her car issues. Shut up. He goes to his, oh God, this makes me so anxious just talking about it. He goes to his truck and he gets the chains out to chain up the tree in my car, right? And these chains are huge and they're heavy, of course, but he's just picking up the chains, plopping them on the ground, picking up some more chains, basically just like, not actually throwing the chains on the ground, but it was making so much noise, you guys. And the echo and the ricochet of the sounds around the whole neighborhood. Oh my God, and the flashing lights. Oh my God. And it takes him a few minutes to just get all the fucking chains on the ground and just being so loud and not giving a goddamn about anybody. I'm like standing there and I like cannot even look because I'm getting so sweaty just even watching this high school kid just take the chains out. And I can't even imagine how I'm gonna feel when he actually starts doing the real shit. He's like dragging the chains on the street up to the tree in front of my car, just dragging them. And then he finally gets up to the tree and he starts putting it around the tree. It's making so much noise. That takes him 10 minutes, y'all, just to hook up the chains to the tree, which I understand it's a very particular process of how you do it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a car person, and I'm very thankful that someone was able to help me. But Jesus, he gets under my car, he's trying to talk to me and trying to show me shit, and I'm like, dude.
I just wanted to show you this real quick.
Yeah.
You can see that arm right there got all bent from...
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to show you before I start pulling, so...
Yeah, I kind of already knew that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you though.
It's going to rip one of my pipes out, and I'm like, okay, I mean, is it safe to drive? And then he was like, well, where are you going? I'm like, I'm driving back to LA on Thursday. Is my car gonna explode? And he was like, you should be fine. And I'm like, dude, you need to treat me like a kindergartner. This isn't funny. This isn't time for, nah. Is my car going to explode? And he was like, you should be fine. And I'm like, I still am not clear on what that means, but okay. He tells me to get in the car and put my shit in neutral. And I'm like, okay.
So I'll have you start it, put it in neutral and crank the wheel.
I get in the car, I put my shit in neutral, and then...
Oh God.
I felt like I was on a roller coaster and it's making so much noise. Because he's like yanking at the tree, rattling outside, and I'm like, I want to literally pass away right now. Like, this would be a really nice way to pass away right now. My car gets lifted up. I remember rolling down my window and him coming up to my window and I'm like, are my tires flat? Are my tires okay?
Are my tires okay?
And then he looked at me with like this weird condescending look and he was like,
Yeah, or I don't know.
Kyle, I don't know. Just can you make sure? Can you just make sure?
Is just everything else good?
And I'm like, thanks, Kyle. But genuinely, like, thank you. You really did save my life, even though you were so extra in the process. But thank you for helping me, sir. And then we like fist bumped it out.
You're a lifesaver. Thank you so much.
And then he left. And then I was so careful about going down this driveway, came down slowly, turned to the right and drove 10 feet forward to the correct driveway. And I parked. Here's the driveway I was just on. Okay, you see that? And this is where I needed to go, okay? This is where I was supposed to go. Right here. Just right here. Just right here. And this is my parking spot right here. That was so embarrassing. I got all of my gear out, and once I loaded everything into the house, I literally shut all of the doors. I locked all of the doors. I said a little prayer. And I said, God, please don't let this ruin my Airbnb score. Like, please don't let this be the reason why I'm banned from Airbnb. Like, I cannot take this. This was a sheer accident. I didn't know it was gonna be pitch black, bro. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have gone at 2 in the morning. Hello? Anyway, so I really just needed to tell that story before we got into the actual vlog. I'm definitely gonna be posting the vlog soon, so just wait for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a fatty thumbs up, subscribe for new content, and yeah, I love you guys. Be safe and don't do the shit that I do. Just learn from me, learn from my mistakes, save yourself the embarrassment. I think the lesson learned here is just don't check into Airbnbs past midnight. Just don't. Just in case something happens, just don't. Just don't. Especially in the middle of nowhere.